Hello, dear Andres. Thank you for accepting the invitation and for joining me for one new video in our series of short podcasts in the FinTech Horizon 2020 project. I know you've been with us for the entire project, and thank you again. I would first like to get more details about your view on this phenomenon of bringing technology and AI into the financial sector, which has been enhanced by the pandemic. So what are the main trends that you have spotted in the field from the InsurTech perspective?
First, hello, and of course, thank you for having me, and I'm happy to discuss this topic with you and maybe explain a bit with what we have done in EIOPA and what we are seeing, what we are planning to do in future. To coming to your first question, then. Of course, I think it's clear that the European Union, but the whole world is actually facing a very difficult social, economic, and financial situation due to the current outbreak, and of course it has already changed the way how people are behaving, how they work, how they do business, how they consume financial services, including insurance services, and of course it has also changing how both the insurers but also intermediaries are doing business, and of course how the supervisors are supervising as well. We have of course looked this also in EIOPA. We recently published our annual consumer trends report, where we were focusing on this, and of course it was broader than just digitalization, but here today I maybe focus more on digitalization aspects, and of course from digitalization perspective, I think that the outbreak has somehow crystallized the benefits of the digitalization, both for the companies, for consumers, but also for supervisors. And I think we can say that the digitalization is not anymore seen as, let's say, nice to have or just a way to let's say increase efficiency or provide a better consumer experience. I think that the current situation somehow exemplifies that it's actually essential for business continuity, and of course for maintaining the access to insurance and pension services. A couple of examples here, maybe first, of course, online channels that could facilitate timely information sharing in this kind of, let's say, stress situations or crisis situation. For example, updated websites or push notification in mobile applications. But I think the technology can also facilitate timely product design changes. For example, updated pricing models taking into account increased risks or maybe decreased risks, changes in the risk profile. But it can also facilitate new products taking into account new or emerging risks. If I may be coming back to our consumer trends report, that then based on the findings there, we can say that despite the initial concerns, insurers and pension funds have maintained business continuity. Although buying products and submitting claims and complaints or seeking information, let's say that it has been carried on broadly as normal, but through new forms of the digitalization trends, as I mentioned.
Oh.
If we of course look the risk side, then there are also new or emerging risks crystallizing really related to to increased ICT risks, cyber risks, or other operational risks, but also I think the financial exclusion is one topic to further looked as well, because some of the consumers might not have access to these digital tools or experience with this. So I think this is probably what we are seeing, and of course we continue to monitor these developments, and maybe it's even still too early to draw exact conclusions, but I think this is definitely something to further monitor and explore.
Okay, thank you, Andres, for all the details. And I know that EIOPA is or was recently working on open insurance. So in this regard, what would be the main aspects that would need to be taken in consideration when discussing this topic of open insurance? So basically, what are both the risks, barriers, and benefits of this open insurance?
Indeed, we have in EIOPA we have started the broader discussion on open insurance, different approaches to open insurance and its let's say implications to both again to the industry and for consumers and then supervisors. The broader background of this work, why we started this. Of course, I think it's fair to say that the recent European Union policy initiatives such as GDPR or PSD2 or more recent Commission data strategy or digital finance strategy, they somehow recognize the importance of the data-driven innovation and data flows. And of course, if you look the banking side, then the discussion around open banking has been taking place for some time. But now with the digital finance strategy, the Commission announced that they are planning to work on holistic open finance framework by mid 2020. So the question is also rising: what does it mean in insurance? In insurance sector, and whether and how far the insurance value chain should be opened up, whether and how far insurance related data should be shared with different operators in the value chain. And if we look maybe first the benefit side, then of course enhanced data sharing and more openness, of course in compliance with data protection and competition rules, can arguably enable the whole sector, both insurance and then pension sector, to fully embrace data-driven innovation, including encouraging the creation of new type of products and then services for consumers. It can, for example, make easier for consumers to compare different offers, different products, but also facilitate different switching services or even new advice services. But the benefits are, of course, also for the industry. It can increase efficiency, cooperation between different providers in the value chain, but also facilitate compliance practices through different RegTech solutions. And finally, maybe the benefit side also, again from supervisory perspective, it can also provide opportunities for supervisors through different subtext solutions and ultimately more effective and responsive oversight capabilities through that. I explained briefly the benefit side, but of course, as supervisors, we of course look the risk side as well, and I think it's super important to understand the risks as well. So here maybe the one thing is I think it's difficult to see actually all the risks, because it depends also the exact business case. What would be the let's say legal requirement? What are the what are the data sets that that are shared, whether it's personal data, non-personal data. So it depends on this, but some things can be still highlighted. So of course, everything related to the data security, cyber risks, also interoperability, liability issues, issues related to ethical use of data, broader consumer protection risks, and of course the collecting and sharing data about insurance policies, or maybe other open insurance related data can reveal sensitive information about the health, political views, or personal details about the consumers. So this is important to keep in mind. But increased data sharing, especially if this is combined with different AI tools or machine learning tools, could also increase financial exclusion, and also raise the question of level playing field. So ultimately, the question of providing equal access to the data for all undertakings and the intermediaries, including the small ones. So these are the main, let's say, risks and benefits. We recently published this discussion paper, but we also launched a public consultation on that, which is open until the end of April, and we are of course looking feedback from different stakeholders to understand the phenomenon and the risks and benefits more clearer.
Okay, thank you, Andres, for the details, and I hope a lot of stakeholders will contribute to your research by providing feedback that could definitely help us all in improving the services that we all benefit from. And linking to this topic, I would go further to another new technology that is today starts to become very important in the financial sector and also in other sectors, and it's the blockchain. So I would kindly ask you to just share with us how do you see, what are the main challenges in in using blockchain in insurance, and also obviously what would be the benefits. You've kind of touched upon some of them, but please
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. Of course, if we look at blockchain or other distributed ledger technologies, I think it's fair to say that when they are properly used, they have the potential to transform the functioning of the wide range of industries, of course, including insurance and pensions industry, and these potential impacts are currently also being explored across the different sectors and variety of organizations, both within EU, but again also globally. In EIOPA, we have also started to looking at this, and we are now in a process of publishing a discussion paper and public consultation on this in hopefully in March. And based on the work which we have done, I think we can say that it's still early days for blockchain in European insurance sector, but it has clearly the potential and it can potentially use throughout the entire value chain. I think it has the potential to, for example, to deliver key digital opportunities, reduce duplication of different processes, increase automation of processes, but it can also help to cut costs, increase efficiency, enhance consumer experiences through different new products and services, maybe also to improve data quality, data collection, and analytics. But and yes, I think for consumer perspective that the main importance is the new products and services. Here maybe maybe to point out the decentralized B2B insurance business models, or the implementation of parametric insurance products through smart contracts. Again, from supervisory perspective, I think it can also provide opportunities for us as a supervisors through different subtech and regtech solutions. And of course, again important to look at the other side as well, the risk side as well. So while promising to drive efficiency and increase efficiency in business practices, and maybe to mitigate certain existing risks, it can also trigger new risks. And again, both for insurance undertaking, but also but also for supervisors and of course for consumers. And here maybe to start with more broadly, I think the blockchain technology is still evolving. So several challenges are related to this emerging or evolving status of the technology. For example, complexity of the technology, or different data protection or privacy related issues, or cyber risk, or integration with different legacy infrastructures already in place. Interoperability maybe to also point out here, and of course, maybe from insurance perspective, I think everything related to smart contracts are also important to consider. So, for example, the interaction between smart contracts and national contract law provisions, and so on. So I think these are the main benefits and risks which we have seen so far. And of course, again, we tried to publish, as I mentioned, this discussion paper and ask broader feedback from different stakeholders as well.
Okay, thank you, Andres, for your insights. And I would go further and ask you, so innovation and digitalization are today probably some of the hottest words used in almost all sectors. So I would want to ask you, how do you see these two phenomena in the future in the insurance sector? So how do you see the sector moving forward under the impact of both digitalization and a lot of innovation that we have lately?
Mm-hmm. Of course, predicting the future is of course difficult. But I think one thing is clear, that and this is that the technology will continue to evolve, and in response to that, of course, insurers will continue to develop and revise their business models. But in addition, the digitalization is also expected to impact the competitive and the distribution dynamics in the market, and the shift is leading to the emergence and consolidation of new distribution channels, new ways of engaging with the consumers, and maybe also new competitors who can disrupt the traditional business models. And this of course brings both the beneficial innovations, but also new or emerging risks. And if we think again, or come back to this pandemic angle, then I think it's a great opportunity for the insurance sector to refresh its approach to digitalization. But also policymakers and supervisors should adapt to provide environment which is needed to support this digital transformation, while of course, as many times mentioned already today as well, mitigating the emerging risks as well. So I think whoever does not perceive that the fact that we are somehow entering to the new area of digitalization will just have hard times in adjusting to these changes. From again, from supervisory perspective or regulatory perspective, I think good supervision has to be, among other things, forward-looking and intrusive. So this includes also asking difficult or searching questions. So in order to make supervision more effective and to ask right questions, I think supervisors need to better understand these new technologies, new business models, and new strategies, and again what risks they contain, whether they are sustainable in the longer term, but also, of course, the beneficial side. And good supervisions have to be also proactive, and hence it's important to participate in the broader policy debate related to the innovation and digitalization, and to continue to engage with supervisory communities, but also with other developments across the globe and across the sectors, and also to have the ongoing dialogue with all the stakeholders, including consumers, academia, startups, incumbent companies, so on. So this dialogue is crucial. But for me, it seems that there's also a greater need to focus on let's say, enabling policies or enabling technologies, including the increasing the possibilities to increase digital inclusion. And this could include some of the topics which we discussed today as well. So the discussion of the outtake of open insurance, the blockchain risks and benefits, but also ethical use of big data and artificial intelligence, and also, let's say, discussion around online distribution and online disclosures, digital ID, maybe also as one enabler to point out here. So yes, as I said, I think that there's a need to focus on this enabling policies, enabling technologies, and of course, from EIOPA side, we continue to explore these topics, and yeah, I think that the ultimate aim is, of course, to facilitate sound digital insurance outtake.
Okay, Andres. So now, before closing, I would kindly ask you to give us more details about what you've seen in the recent consumer trends report that you've mentioned today, and that probably a lot of people have heard of. So just give us some of the main insights that you found, so that our viewers can further go and read the entire report.
Mm-hmm. I think I briefly covered it in the first question. So from digitalization perspective, I think it's the main message is that despite the initial concerns, both the insurers and pension funds maintained business continuity. So buying products, submitting claims and complaints, or seeking information have carried out broadly as normal as without the pandemics, but through new forms of digitalization trends. We of course see different risks as well, not so much maybe related to digitalization as such, but more in general. So complexity of the products, or different issues related to exclusions. So what is covered, what is not. So also some issues related to unit-linked products. So these are of course the issues which we continue to monitor and take necessary steps as needed in future. And of course, if you are interested to read and understand more about this, then I definitely recommend to read our recent consumer trends report.
Thank you, Andres, very much for answering my questions, for giving us all these interesting details and insights. And we definitely hope to have you to our future events. Unfortunately, now they are going to be mostly digital, but we hope in the future to also go back to physical or some hybrid events. So thank you again for your time.
Thank you for having me, and all the best.